Hello and welcome to the first full day of competition from the Commonwealth Youth Games from the Isle of Man, following a spectacular opening ceremony.
For the Isle of Man, this is our Olympics.
This is your moment to aim not for the stars, but for the sky beyond. Enjoy the games and good luck to you all.
We declare that we will take part in the Commonwealth Youth Games for the honour of our Commonwealth and for the glory of sport.
And now, on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, Lord of Man, Head of the Commonwealth and Patron of the Commonwealth Games Federation, I have great pleasure in declaring the 4th Commonwealth Youth Games open.
And open they did, in spectacular style. We've already had some competition before today, the preliminary bouts of the boxing tournaments getting things underway. So today, the games really take hold, and this is what's coming up in the next half an hour. It's a packed programme with plenty going on. There are highlights from the gymnastics, where the first medals will be awarded. There's the first swimming heats, athletics, boxing and badminton. But first, let's go to the pool. The opening action of the first full day of competition at the Commonwealth Youth Games was at the pool, kicking off with the preliminary heats of the women's 100 metres freestyle. Katuku Ngawati of Australia recording the fastest time, just a shade quicker than compatriot Amy Matsuo, and Sophie Smith of England, who was third fastest. Joining them in the final are Kyla Ferreira from South Africa and Welsh girl Chloe Tutton, who was a couple of tenths quicker than Kirsten McKinley of Scotland. In the women's 100-metre breaststroke, it was Sarika McMahon of Northern Ireland who set the fastest time. She dominated her heat from start to finish. She's joined in the final by South Africa's Kelly Gunnell, who was 0.6 of a second slower. Emily Jones of Scotland, New Zealand's Natasha Lloyd, and another South African, Justin McFarlane, who was runner-up in this heat. Turning to the men's 200-metre backstroke, and a strong display from New Zealand's Corey Main. He won this heat ahead of Grant Holzall of the Isle of Man and the Australian Eugene T, a cushion of more than 2 seconds. Joining them in the final is Chris van der Sander of South Africa, who recorded the second quickest time. Robert Gerlach of Australia was 5th quickest. Also through to the final is Lewis Smith of Wales, Jean Hantern of Malaysia and Josh Booth from Scotland. On to the women's 50-metre butterfly. Vanessa Pullman of Australia setting the fastest time so far in the previous heat, but a good start from Marne Erasmus of South Africa. A versatile athlete, she's also competing in the freestyle and backstroke events. And at the turn, she led from New Zealand's Sophia Batchelor and Charlotte Bryan of Wales. And it was a lead she was to hold on to until the end. But would she record the fastest time? The answer would be yes, 0.8 quicker than Pullman.
Day 2 saw the introduction of badminton to the Games, featuring the start of both men's and women's singles matches as well as the doubles competition. We see here the Isle of Man's Cameron Avery take on Rakita Pereira of Sri Lanka in a tightly fought contest. Avery started well, forcing errors from his opponent to lead the match early on. But it was the Sri Lankan Pereira who rallied really well to force a comeback and secure match point, before finally winning the contest 21-14, 21-13. the skills on show clearly delighting some of the dignitaries courtside. Australian Eddie Hung had to battle to get past his first-round opponent, Gerald Isaacs of Jamaica, to secure his spot against Manxman Ben Lai in the next round, a match he would later go on to win. England's Rhys Walker smashed his way into the next round. And India's Venkata Sindhu will join him after overcoming Laura Beggs of the Isle of Man in another close contest. And it was delight too for the Guernsey mixed pair of Jordan and Emily Trebert, who make their way to round 2.
Let's switch back to the action at the pool as the preliminary heats continued. This is the second heat of the men's 100-metre breaststroke. Craig Benson of Scotland in lane 4, breaking into an early lead ahead of Giovanni Guarino of Jersey in lane 3. From there, he eased into the final. However, he didn't record the fastest qualifying time. That honour went to the Australian Tommy Sisipto. The pair are joined in the final by Benjamin of South Africa, Zakas from Cyprus, Lewis of Guernsey, Guarino plus Adjus from Malta and Rodriguez from Guyana. Having qualified for the women's 50-metre butterfly final, Sophia Batchelor then repeated the feat in the women's 200-metre backstroke, but her time was slower than the English pair of Phoebe Lenderoux and Georgia Homan. So, those three, the quickest qualifiers ahead of Adelaide Hart of Australia and New Zealand's Kate Godfrey, but Homan will surely start as favourite. Plenty of spectators at the preliminary heats, including Prince Edward, who was happy to pose for photographs with some of the competitors. The third heat of the men's 50-metre butterfly, New Zealand's Alexander Hancock had set the fastest time, just 100th of a second quicker than Hendrik Alberts of South Africa. But both would prove to be not as quick as Australia's Chris Raven here in lane 4. Next to him in lane 5 was the Scot Mark Zaranek, who'd post the fourth quickest time. Also making the finals, Dylan Carter of Trinidad and Tobago, but surely it's going to be Raven who looks like the favourite to take the gold. The men's 200-metre freestyle final looks like being hotly contested. Matthew Hutchins of New Zealand winning this heat quite comfortably. But Hutchins, along with Sterling of Scotland and Lloyd of Wales, all recording a time in the 1:49 bracket. Rowe of England and Romany of Trinidad and Tobago also dreaming of a medal.
It's the team event first in gymnastics, and with strong local support it was the British Isles with the most success. Sarah Strawbridge helped Northern Ireland to 5th place in the final with teammates Nicole Mawhinney and India McPeak. And there was better luck for Scotland, ending up in 4th place. This is Shannon Archer, her teammates Cara Kennedy and Carly Smith. But the Australian team earned the nation its first medal of the Games. Bronze for Alex Eade, Maddie Ladin and Emma Nedov here. Wales, meanwhile, had taken its second silver of the day thanks to Ciara Brennan, Angel Romeo and Rhea Thika, and their other came in the athletics. And England opened its medal tally with gold from this event. Abby Craig, Charlie Fellows and Rebecca Tunney delivering the top result this afternoon.
Good conditions for the first round of the qualifying heats in the athletics. This is the third heat of the women's 100 metres. Shayna Harrison of Canada nearest to the camera, getting off to a great start. Botswana's Loungu Matalku and Papia Ranisaka of Bangladesh also away quickly. Not the best start for Diana Johnson of Jamaica, but she recovered strongly to take third. Harrison recording the fastest time with Matalhaku, Johnson and Sarkar joining her in the semi-finals. Miles of Guyana just missing out in 5th place. On to heat 4 and another quick time. Caroline Morin-Hood of Canada in lane 4, off to a flyer, along with Sananda Sarkar of India. Watch for Australia's Sophie Taylor in lane 3, pushing strongly toward the line, but it's the Canadian who finishes first. And that's the quickest qualifying time of all 4 heats, with Noah Lechandre Herbert of St Kitts and Nevis taking the 4th and final semi-final position. The athletics proving very popular with local school children, plus Prince Edward, who appeared to be taking in as many events as he could. This is the 3rd heat of 4 in the men's 100 metres. From the off, a cracking start for Josh Clark of Australia and Welshman Dewey Hammond, while strong bursts from Tahir Walsh of Antigua and Barbuda and Jajindu Ujar of England pushed them to the 4 and a place in the semi-finals. Clark and Walsh recording identical times in a very tight contest, which sees New Zealand's Blair Grant failing to make the semis by the slimmest of margins. The final heat and another tight affair. Carl Webb of Bermuda and Robbie Stenhouse of Jersey not making the best of starts, and that left Zarnell Hughes of Anguilla, Scotland's Tom Holligan, Leon Reid of England and Kiefer Joyce of Canada to fight it out. It's the Canadian Joyce who claims top spot, but with a time which would have placed him 4th in the previous heat, but only just. Heat 3 of the opening round of the women's 400 metres. Rath Nayaka of Sri Lanka, Cassandra Jones of Canada and Simbalan of Brunei Darussalam. They went in the first heat. Also making the cut, Nakaya of Uganda, who won heat 2, ahead of Hall of Jamaica and Bullich from Australia. So they're through to the semis. And a controversial finish to this heat, with Abby de la Motte leading Scotland's Zoe Clark around the final bend. But it was to prove to be in vain, the Australian being disqualified from the final result. So it was Clark who took the victory. She's joined in the semi-final by Joseph of Antigua and Barbuda, with Anguilla's Janisha Richardson bagging the 3rd spot. Rojas of the British Virgin Islands crossing the line in 4th and taking the final semi-final position. Confirmation of the result and a cracking pair of semi-finals in prospect. Clark's time of 56.39 seconds, the fastest time of the 3 heats. Clovis Asong of England, many people's favourite for gold in the men's 400 metres. But Jean-Jacques of Canada in lane 5 will push him and should also make the semi-final. Away we go, heat 2 underway. Alpha Slekan Kashoyan of Kenya winning the first heat from George Caddick of England, so they're the first pair to confirm their places in the semi-final. A relaxed start from Asong in lane 3. He's towards the back, but expect him to turn on the power going into the turn. Talbot Polian of St Lucia in turn 2 has started strongly, but can he maintain that to the line? It's the first 2 who go through, then it's all down to fastest qualifiers to make up the final places. Sedano of Trinidad and Tobago in lane 1, and Denray Jean-Jacques of Canada in lane 5, looking quick. Here goes Asong as he kicks in. Gerard Torres of Gibraltar is being left behind at the back in lane 4. It's Asong who will take the win, as expected, with Sedano of Trinidad and Tobago in 2nd, while Jean-Jacques and Polian are left to fight it out over the fastest qualifier.
Asong then comes through to take it in 48.
Jean-Jacques just pipped Polian for 3rd, but he'll have to wait to see if he makes the semi-final cut. First win of the games, though, for Clovis Asong.